and welcome to Create and Play, Hull Truck Theatre's homeschooling drama lessons for children aged 4 to 7. My name is Finn. For this session, you're going to need some colouring in pencils or some crayons, some paper and yourself. Did you know that every time a story is told, it changes a little bit? Well, this is our version of the Emperor's New Clothes. If you want, you can join in. You can pretend to be some of the characters and act out what they say or do, or make some of the sound effects. And if there are any other homeschoolers with you, you might like to help them join in too. Are you ready? Let's get started. There was once an emperor who loved nothing better than to try on new clothes. He would change 3 times a day into the most extraordinary outfits. Emperors are supposed to fix the problems of the land, but not this one. When people would ask, "What's the emperor doing?" instead of being in a meeting, people would tell them, "Well, he's in his wardrobe." Here's a task for you. I want you to draw the best outfit you can think of. Imagine it's for you. What are you going to wear? I'll give you 5 minutes to do this. So get your paper and your colouring in pencils and let's begin. What does your outfit look like? What would your top be? A t-shirt? A jumper? Maybe a jacket or a coat? You've got 4 minutes left. What would your bottom half be? A skirt? Shorts? Maybe a dress or some trousers? What about your shoes? What are they going to be? Three minutes left. Boots, sandals, trainers, high heels. Would you be wearing a hat? There's 2 minutes to go. What colours are you using? What patterns would these clothes have? One more minute. Get your drawings ready to show me. Are you ready? Show me your drawings. One day, two strangers came to town. They said they were weavers. Weavers are people who mix materials together to make clothes. They said they were the finest weavers in all the world. They said they used the most magical cloths ever. They said they used the most exotic colours and the most intricate patterns. They said they were weavers, but actually they were tricksters. They were crooks. The crooks said this cloth could not be seen by just anybody. But if you were clever, you could see the magic cloth. And if you were foolish, well, you wouldn't be able to see anything at all. Let's pretend to be the weavers for a moment. I want you to try and sell the emperor this new magical cloth. How would you describe it to the emperor? I'll give you 1 minute to try out some ideas and some sentences that they might say. What colour is the cloth? What patterns does it have on it? How beautiful is it? What describing words might they use? How does it feel? What does it look like? What colours are they? Could you describe it and compare it to something else? So as soft as, or as red as. Let's give it a go. Are you ready? Try and sell the emperor your new cloth. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. Oh, it is lovely. Okay. Oh, what wonderful colours. I'll take it. Brilliant. Well done. So, the emperor decided to go and see the weavers. He'd heard how wonderful this cloth was. The emperor thought, well, I've got to have some of this cloth. I am the emperor after all, and I want everyone to see how amazing I look. And when he got to the weaver's factory, the weavers ran about, pointing at piles of clothes on the shelves and on the tables, saying with pride, "Look at our beautiful material. Have you ever seen such bright colours and gorgeous patterns?" And the emperor looked, but he couldn't see anything. There was nothing there. But then he remembered he'd heard that only clever people can see the cloth, and that if you were foolish, you wouldn't be able to see anything at all. So the emperor thought, well, I can't let anyone think I'm foolish, and therefore I can't let anyone know that I can't see the cloth. And the emperor said, indeed, this is the most wonderful material I've ever seen. I want you to make me a suit from it for my next birthday parade. And the weavers replied, well, we will need to buy new materials, and it's not cheap. But the emperor replied, indeed, send for my purse. You shall have whatever you need. After 2 days, the emperor began to wonder how the weavers were getting on with the cloth. So he decided to send the Prime Minister along. Well, she is a woman of sense. She will be able to see the cloth, that's for sure. And so the faithful Prime Minister went to the weaver's factory. When she got there, the weavers worked furiously on the looms, and the Prime Minister looked and looked and looked, but she couldn't see anything. And she had every right to, because there wasn't actually anything there. I want you to do the facial expression of the Prime Minister looking confused or puzzled, wondering where this cloth, where this material is on the looms. I'll give you 30 seconds to practice. Ready? Go. What sort of facial expression would the Prime Minister use? She's confused. She can't see anything. How does that make her feel? Should we give it a go? Okay, let's try that now. After 3, show me your best confused face. 3, 2, 1, go. Huh? Yeah, brilliant. Great facial expressions. But then the Prime Minister remembered that only clever people could see the cloth on the looms, and that if you were a foolish person, then you wouldn't see anything at all. And not wanting to seem foolish, she rushed back to the emperor and said, yes, these are the most wonderful materials and the brightest of colours I've ever seen in the whole world. 2 more days later, the emperor sent his special advisor. And it was the same with this person as it was with the Prime Minister. The special advisor went to see the weavers, and the weavers were working so hard, bent over the looms, that they barely had time to speak to the special advisor. "Isn't the cloth wonderful?" said the weavers. And the special advisor looked around, and he couldn't see anything either. But, not wanting to seem foolish, he went back to the emperor and said, "Sire, this is the most beautiful cloth, the most extraordinarily magnificent material. I love it." Soon after, it was the emperor's birthday parade, and the whole town was eagerly awaiting the sight of the emperor in his new clothes. The crooked weavers came to the palace and brought the emperor his new birthday suit. "Your Majesty, here are the trousers. Here's the shirt. Here's the waistcoat, the jacket, the scarf, the hat. It might feel as light as a spider's web, and maybe feel as if you're not wearing anything at all, but you'll look fabulous." And as the weavers dressed the emperor in his new suit, the emperor turned from side to side, admiring himself in his new suit. Everyone cried out, "Majesty, indeed, royal robes. You look fantastic, sir. What beautiful design, exotic colours." And that is how it seemed for the emperor. But when he looked in the mirror, he couldn't see anything at all. But if everybody said it was great, then his suit must have looked grand. "Yes, I'm ready," said the emperor. Out on the street, the emperor strode proudly through the streets, waving at everyone in the crowd who'd gathered there to see the emperor's new clothes. "Wow! Don't the emperor's clothes look so amazing? Yeah, I love the detail on the waistcoat. Oh, what marvellous colours. I love the way the scarf hangs." However, no one would admit that they couldn't actually see anything. Suddenly, the voice of a small child was heard in the crowd. But the emperor's just stood in his undies." And the words from the small child were whispered from one person to the next. And soon, everyone was laughing and pointing and crying. What is the emperor doing in his pants? What a fool he must feel. Oh, how silly he looks. Look at him stood in his pants. And the emperor felt upset. For he knew that the people were right. He was stood in the middle of town, in front of all his subjects, in his underpants. Imagine how the emperor feels. I want you to think of a sentence the emperor might say in this moment. Let's think about how he feels. Does he feel silly? A little bit stupid? Humiliated? Maybe he's okay with it. Focus on what the emperor might say. Should we give it a go? Great. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's hear what the emperor had to say. Oh dear. Slightly embarrassing, isn't it? But actually, you know what? Who cares? And that is exactly what happened. However, we don't know what happened to the crooked weavers. I did hear that they crept out of town silently to escape being caught, but who knows? Maybe you could tell the end of that story to somebody else. Great. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.